Three, two, one, let go. 411 Sports One Network. Here we are. We got the Bama Georgia preview. Got Brooks to showcase in the building. Gotta be in here. It's Georgia Alabama week. And Philly Red Zone in the house. What's
What's
up,
up?
gentlemen? Never
Going
know who
on?
else will pop up, but we all here.
Yeah.
All right. So look, college football weekend has come and gone. And it's time to preview this Georgia Alabama game, but also NFL too. Oh, don't let me leave that out. We had the NFL review. Uh, Two people on here had teams that won this weekend, and we leave it at that. Another one got
Appreciate
some.
that.
Another one got some explaining to do here, but you know,
Man.
we'll figure that out too. But let's start on a high note though. Brooks, Georgia, Alabama this weekend. Philly Red Zone, Georgia, Alabama. Let's get y'all initial thoughts on that. What are we looking at for this matchup? What should the people be paying attention to as far as matchups?
Brooks, you started, man. You the Georgia guy.
The big thing coming into this game, and you wouldn't, this is a weird thing to say about a Georgia team, but the defense, right? They asked Kirby Smart this week, like, "What do you want to see from your defense?" And he was like, "Stops, right?"
Yeah, yeah,
They didn't play too well. I mean, they had their moments in Tennessee. I'll say, as somebody who watched the game, I mean, you look at the stats, it didn't really tell the whole story. I did think they made adjustments to the Tennessee team and kind of slowed them down, and but it actually had a lot to do with the offense as well, who started using the run to keep that Tennessee offense off the field and clock management. But yeah, I want to see the defense. I want to see them step up um, again a talented offense. Ty Simpson, we'll see with him. He's had flashes, but again, they got that embarrassing loss to Florida State on their resume. But this is it's an important game for Bama. We talk about teams like Clemson, you talk about teams like Notre Dame, these teams that lost early and don't have this room for error. Alabama lost early as well, and they don't have much room for error. Maybe one more loss. And then run the table, but they can't afford too much slip up. So this is actually a very important game for Bama. So uh, being at home helps. You know, uh, helps. So I think Georgia's not going to have to find that energy to kind of match Bama because they're going to be at home and they're going to be riding that crowd. So it's a night game at Sanford. I don't think they'll have any problems getting up for it. But I'm just looking at defense. I'm just looking at defense. Can they contain the run? Their formula has always been, if you contain the run, you make teams one dimensional. You know, then you can succeed because they get predictable, right? So that's what I'm looking at. Can we be physical, contain that run, make them one dimensional? Mm, You know, Ryan Williams, is a very talented receiver
yeah.
who changed the game last year. Had that unbelievable catch at the end to kind of seal the game. Um, our cornerbacks had a rough time against Tennessee, especially not looking back and finding the ball, penalties, underthrows where they weren't in good position, couldn't turn their heads. So yeah, I'm looking at the defense. I think the offense proved it's going to be fine. Proved it can move the ball. We can run the ball with an assortment of running backs. No, we don't have a. None of them have really stood out yet, but I mean they're all solid and they're all getting touches and being productive. So not worried about the offense. I'll be looking at this defense. You can't go back to back giving up 30 plus points like that. That's not a winning recipe for this Georgia team. They made it. They they managed to get over it at the Tennessee game, but that's not a formula you want to live and die by. I don't think this offense can continue to do what it did against Tennessee. So that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think looking at Alabama, looking at Georgia, both of the teams up to this point, on paper, Georgia should pretty much win this game. Showing up and going away. I mean, they have to me they have the better quarterback. Um, they the skill positions is kind of a wash. Alabama has the name because of Williams, where he was the standout freshman. But Georgia has solid, 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 receivers. They always pack a tight end. I know the tight end that they have probably a no name right now, but they always have reliable tight ends, and in the running game, they always pack a, you know, two-headed, if not three-headed monster. Just guys that they just roll off the bench, and they're averaging 5 to 6 yards a clip. Even in that Tennessee game, I mean, they rolled that guy off the out of nowhere. He'd go ahead and get the game winning touchdown. So I'm with you, Brooks. They can't display that style of you know defense where they're just overconfident. They're not paying attention to their cues. They're over pursuing. They're leaving lanes, for that Alabama quarterback who he's not the best, so far as talent, but he's
Sure.
shifty and he's willing to run. If you give him a crease, he's going to take it, you
Hmm.
know, and if you don't get pressure on him, he got enough arm talent to get the ball to Williams and those other, Alabama skill positions. And Alabama, like Georgia, they come with a running game, a bunch of big backs from Mississippi, Alabama, wherever they coming from. Those guys are gonna be Derrick Henry, Mark, Ingram s type backs. Big body, not so much the shifty guys. I mean, like Jacobs and those guys. They kind of the anomaly for Alabama, but I like Georgia, man. Going away, showing up, getting, what I mean, it's gonna be a great game. But I look at it. This game is Georgia's to win and to lose, and I think it'll be more of a shocker if they do lose this game because they got the better players, man, better coach. They just across the board they have the advantage.
Wow, and you use the word shocker. Uh, I mean, wow. I mean, Georgia and Alabama, you say shocker. So is that more of a fall off from Alabama, more of a concern from the coaching aspect from Bama, or what?
Yeah, I think it's just overall. I mean, Kirby Smart, man. He's built a machine in Athens, man. I mean, it's a machine. I mean, for one, I mean, half the professional you know players in the league come from Georgia, and those guys come ready to play, so they're coached up well. So Georgia is known for its defense, offense. What I mean, you sprinkle players here. We could talk about it. Few receivers here, a few running backs, but Georgia is always, always, always packed the defense. Even back in the heydays, man, they always had a good defense. So that's why say it would be a shocker to me. I think those guys are going to get up for this game. I think they took Tennessee lightly because of the history, you know, and then they didn't know that quarterback was that good. Yeah, you can watch him on tape, but getting in front of him, and seeing how athletic he is, the arm talent, you know, they I think they were just overconfident and then they didn't expect Tennessee to really show up the way they did. And when they realized, oh, we're in a dogfight, they really hunkered down and they walked out with a win. And then Tennessee played that game to not to lose. When they took their foot off the gas because when they were aggressive, they were taking it to Georgia. And I think that it takes a game like that for a program like Georgia and for the coaches to get in those players' behinds all week, show them their tape, show them their embarrassing, moments where they missing tackles or they over pursuing, or the cornerbacks is getting cooked on double moves. What I mean? It was a week of embarrassment, a week of, what I mean, you know, of
Yeah.
them not being able to smell themselves. and in a week full of paying attention to detail. Because hey, man, you lose this game, Alabama got bragging rights for the rest of the year. You can go ahead and win the national title, but guess what? They're gonna say you lost to Bama. I think that's thing more. Nobody, those guys in Georgia, they don't want to hear that. Oh yeah,
And what about
you
a
know.
historical? And what about a historical point of the rivalry? Like does Georgia need to get this one more than Bama?
I think so. Bama had, for years had, it was back and forth, but they had their number. I mean, Nick Saban, you knew what you was getting with the Nick Saban team getting off the bus. You already knew it. It was some sprinkle, fairy dust that was going to happen. You'll be up, and then you look up and you down 14. You don't know how. it's just it's just a bunch of mistakes that just happen, or coaching errors, and they're trying to outsmart each other when just need to play, fundamental football. But I think Kirby gonna have those guys ready, man, and I never been like super confident in the
Yeah.
in the game, but I'm confident, man, that Georgia's
Yeah.
going. Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a mental hurdle that Georgia needs to get over for sure. I mean, I think a little less so with Saban gone. There's
Mhm.
just something about Saban not being there that takes a little bit of the edge out. But I mean, they came out last year and immediately got down like 28-0, I believe. So I mean, they need to they need to get a win and kind of exercise the demons here. The Saban era is over. Get this win at home. Take care of business. And I think you're the better team. You're at home. It's a night game. There's you lose this game. There's going to be a lot of questions about kind of like can Kirby beat Alabama? Those type of
Mhm.
questions. And you don't want that. You want to go ahead and get this win, uh, exercise the demons, and kind of move forward. But it's an important game for that aspect of Georgia. But also Alabama. You look at their next two games being Vanderbilt and Missouri, which look like easy games, and now those two
Yeah.
teams are sitting at top of the SEC, not undefeated. Um, so
Go figure.
they don't necessarily their schedule's a little harder than it looks right now, than it seems. So this is a Bama's got a lot of work to do. And if they lose this game and you have two losses, with no really quality wins, that's going to be, it's going to be a tough road for them. So you better believe they're going to be motivated to get this W. It's an important game for them. And like I said, I think it's an important game for that, for mentally for Georgia, to get that monkey off the back of Alabama. Yeah, they beat them in the national championship game, but this has been a rivalry that's been dominated thoroughly, by Alabama with some really big, uh, you know, let down like fourth quarter comebacks and game winning drive and things of that nature that have just kind of like not just losses but devastating losses. So it's time to kind of get that mental edge back, get over that hurdle. Beat them comfortably. Beat them by 10+ points. I think they're capable of doing that uh, with this team. So
All right. Well, that's the matchup, man. So we'll see how it goes. I'm certain. Well, both people on this panel. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I mean, I heard Philly say Georgia's going to win. I'm going to take with a grain of salt. I'm just going to. No, I'm saying with a leap of faith that Brooks is predicting that Georgia's going to win this week as well.
Yeah, we know that.
I,
So
I just
I see
I
a
think they
dog
pull it out.
jersey somewhere in the background.
yeah,
No, I do. I think they win.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're night game at home. I think that's going to
yeah,
propel them. I think they can win. I think they can win by 10 points.
All right. That's
yeah,
that's bigger than the spread. I mean, because even I think the spread is what 3.5.
Yeah, the spread's low now, 3.5. I
Yeah.
think that's a lot. I think that's a lot to do with our defense and how it showed
yeah.
up against
Yeah.
Tennessee for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So they you know what that's gonna pull a lot of what they call it, I don't know what they call it. Calculator always talks about it, but you in that stuff too, Brooks. It's gonna pull a lot of people the other way, right? With that 3.5, like, hey, it's just
Oh
Well,
three and
yeah,
a
yeah,
half.
yeah,
taking them
Give,
points.
give me Bama then. If it's just 3.5,
yeah. A
like,
lot.
So
Yeah, I
really,
mean,
it's
it could
a
go.
borderline pick 'em.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they're enticing both sides of that because you can throw Georgia into a tease and get them at plus points, and you
right,
can you can tease Alabama and get them to double digit points. So
Yeah,
they're enticing both halves there.
yeah, yeah. They're great at doing. All right, well, so
Yes.
we'll be tuning in for that one, man. That's the big one, right? NFL, gentlemen. Woo, Brooks. Let's go ahead and get yours out the way.
Oh
Atlanta.
my God,
We're not
Jesus.
even gonna. We don't need to even talk about the game. It was a shocker.
very much
Even I
so.
picked the Falcons to win. This week. But 30-0. Let's just go. Let's get straight to it. Is Raheem Morris the head coach that needs to be leading this team?
They're just the the week to week. There's no consistency week to week with this team, and there hasn't been for a long time. You just don't know what team you're gonna get. Um, they're so sloppy at times. Um, that I mean, that's all pointing to coaching, right? Um, when your team, you don't know which team's going to show up week to week. Um, that's coaching right there. I think the offensive philosophy is a little off. Michael Penix is has a cannon of an arm.
Yeah,
Why aren't you putting him under center? Why aren't you running more play action with Penix? Um, I don't understand that part of it, and that may be due to some protection issues. We know they lost their right tackle. So maybe those long drop backs are not, it's not what he wants, which I could see, but still, I don't. That's not playing to Penix's strength. He's in shotgun a lot, um, and I just don't see that as. I don't think that's a good game plan for Penix. I think he needs to be under center more. God knows why they don't. They only gave like Algier a couple touches last game.
yeah,
One carry, he got one carry. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. Like that's your team. Algier and Bijan are your team. The receiving core is a little banged up. Who knows what Kyle Pitts you're getting? I mean, run the ball. Like live and die with the run game. So I don't understand the offensive philosophy of this team. I thought at Minnesota they did a good job. They ran the ball down their throats. Penix was efficient, not crazy good, but he didn't have to be. And with a young quarter, again, this is a young quarterback.
right.
You have arguably the best running back tandem in the league. Algier's going to leave next year and be a starter for somebody for sure. Like, why aren't you? You got to run the ball. You got to stick to it too. I mean, I get it. We're not in the coaching box. We don't see the game plan. Maybe they're stacking a box and forcing Penance to throw it. Sure. I'm not going to get off of that easy though. Um, Penix hasn't really had a bad game like that yet, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like replace Penix. That's crazy talk. He didn't not like he had any time anyways to do anything. And they definitely flushed him, with the protection lacking. He didn't look assertive. He had late reads on the ball. He wasn't accurate, so he was bad. But the whole the whole team was bad. The whole team was bad. The pass rush disappeared again. Um, and you let a team that's going to be at the bottom of the NFL like house you by 30 points. Yeah, I call. Yeah, you got to call. You got to call in the coaching at that point. When you lose by that badly to, what's all intents and purposes a bad team. Yeah, coaching's got to be called into question.
Yeah,
I like Raheem Morris as a leader. I think he has the locker room in that respect, but X's and O's, man, X's and O's. I mean, I think that the defense and the offense, X's and O's. Yeah, I call all that into question. Um, and we'll see. But this team has to. I don't know. It's just like something never seems to change, despite maybe it's the ownership at this point. Because whatever coach you bring in, I see similar characteristics every year with this team. They're inconsistent. They're not mentally tough. They tend to blow games when they have the lead. So it's just a kind of regime after regime, which makes me kind of call into the decision makers in this. Arthur Blank, the ownership. I mean, because it seems like no matter what regime you're bringing in, this team seems to be the same year after year after year. Um, we'll see. I mean, again, maybe I'm overreacting on one game. Maybe they'll win this week, be 2-2. But they got a they have a rough stretch coming up, and they really needed that Carolina win, to
Yeah,
be honest with you, as they go
especially
into the rest of the schedule. And it gets really tough. It goes Bills, Niners, right after this. Commanders, I mean, they're banged up. We'll see if Jaden Daniels plays.
right.
But having the Bills and the 49ers, two really tough teams, two physical teams. The Bills offense is going to be a really tough to game plan against. And the 49ers right now are 3-0. Um, and then you get a little reprieve after that, but you lose this week, you're staring you're staring 1-5 in the face, I think. Which is a hole you probably that's going to be hard to dig out of, no matter how easy your schedule gets. Um, so they're gonna
Yeah,
have to bow their neck and at least win one of these games, 2-4. Okay, you'd like to get two of these games if you can. Starting with this game, because if you lose this game, then yeah, it may be a 1-5 start. So this is
yeah.
a really important game.
And Brooks, that would be another home game too. And then the two losses early is the division losses too. Carolina and Tampa. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
The time is now.
and the
You know what I'm saying? The
yeah, and the,
time is
and the
now.
buck and the Bucks keep winning. The Bucks keep winning. You can't keep losing and the Bucks keep winning. I mean, you're gonna have no shot at this division if this is happening. And the Bucks are off to a hot start. So I mean, you can't dig yourself too much of a hole. You're gonna be stuck in the wild card because
Yeah.
the Bucks have started off undefeated. So
And speaking of the Bucks, right? They have a team coming up, 3-0 versus 3-0. And mind you, the Bucks have been like the comeback Bucks, right, this season thus far. But nonetheless, they have the 3 wins. But they're going to be playing a team in the Philadelphia Eagles. Uh, so that leads
yep.
us to Philly Red Zone, and what are we looking forward to in that? But before we even do that, let's go back to the big win against a team that I think is really the one team that plays Philly the best is the Rams. And so, what about that, man? What about the victory, the big victory there, or Philly thus far in this season, getting these wins? Where are we looking at with Philly, man?
Man, to start out, they were playing not to lose. They was too conservative, man. You're not taking you're not taking shots down the field. You're not, you're trying to be one dimensional. You're trying to force the run, down the team throat. We're gonna run because we got Saquon and this big offensive line. Well, they
Mhm.
got 8, 9, 10 men in the box. I mean, you got one-on-ones with AJ, Devontae, Dallas Goddard. Take your money, and then they messed up by putting Matt Pryor out there once Lane Johnson got hurt versus putting Fred Johnson out there, who already won a Super Bowl with you, who was your swing tackle. You get a guy that you cut 4 or 5 times just because you drafted him from TCU. It's like, and then as soon as they made the change, it settled the line down. Now, the offense went to work. And then two, having another new offensive coordinator who trying to put his stamp on the offense, and he's coaching not to make a mistake. And you can't get on the NFL and at any sport at any level coaching scared because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say, "Oh, my bad. I thought I saw this and this happened." Okay, live with it. Stand on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think when they got down 26-7, and Jalen, he got out of character. I mean, he never getting coaches' faces and like be animated. He normally stoic and real mild, tempered. Yeah, no, we saw the side of him that was dropping expletives like, hey, no, we not doing this. I'm not no gonna be getting booed. I'm not, what I mean? Like it was just a bad, bad showing. But they turned it around, you know, they showed, resiliency. They bonded as a team at halftime. They came out and they took what the defense gave them. And it's the thing is, your dogs is better than their dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you throw the ball to 11. You got 1-on-1, give 11 the ball. You got 1-on-1, give 6 the ball. You got 88 going down the seam, throw him the ball. 26 to get his. He's fine. He's not worried about it. Saquon happy to be here. He could still be with the Giants right now. You know what I'm
God.
saying? Like he's good. He won the Super Bowl. He already know he's Saquon. He's fine. He got backwards. He gonna be living
He's
off that backwards hurdle for the rest of his life.
yeah, he's a made
It'd
man.
be yeah. He'll be 80 years old. People still trying to get him to do a backwards hurdle. You know, but yeah, no, man, that game was epic. The defense, I love what I saw from the young defense. Jalen Carter, and the Georgia boys. I mean, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. I mean, Nolan Smith. I mean, they really, showed up and showed out. The Rams, I think in that second half, I think they only scored, 7 points, and then that was that. They shut it all the way down. And then during the game, while the Rams was hot, they held them to field goals. I mean, you go into halftime, 19-7. I
Yeah,
mean, that was a win because you were still in the game. And now you can look at you go in there and you make adjustments and you see what they're doing, and you use their cockiness because the Rams was cocky. Oh, McVay, they high five and they cheesing. I mean, they really thought they were just gonna blow the Eagles out, man. They were they were trying to, the only to bounce back and not one block field goal, but two. And it's a meme going on social media where they said Roger Goodell already got the paperwork to ban block field goals because the Eagles are too good at it.
hey man, them two guys on that front line, man. I mean, they like the way that they can get under the shoulder pads of the lineman, man, and just I mean, that's the whole key.
Yeah,
If
they
they get
worked
up
as
under
a
them
team.
pads and push that lineman back,
Yeah,
now it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And the thing is, the cool thing about them too, they was planning it. They said they studied his kicks. They looked at the guard set and they attacked. They weren't playing passive. They attacked and made it happen. You got 6'4" and 6'6", and one is a battering ram and one is a skyscraper, and they working together. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
So a win like that galvanizes a team. I've seen it in 2017 when the Eagles played the Giants. They were down, and Jake Elliott hit a 64-yard field goal walking away, and then they end up winning the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Last year, I mean, they lose to the Falcons. I'm already on the ledge. I'm like, oh man, we 2-2. Come on, and then things happen during the season, and it just they just band together. So it was a good good game. The Rams are solid, man. The,
yeah. They
Jared Verse and Fisk and Young and man, that front seven, that mainly that front four, their linebackers is secondary is not nothing to be right home. That's where their weakness is. But that front four is going to be a problem. Your Seahawks is going to have to deal with those boys for the next 6 to 8 years.
man,
Yeah.
look, we already had to deal with one guy who just retired. You know what I'm
I
saying
know.
on that line. So, and now here comes some more.
Yeah,
Um,
they got three this time.
yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah,
look, man, but the Seahawks, man, they managed to get a victory. Now, look, it was against the Saints, so
yeah.
it's not too much to write home about there.
Hey, no offense to Brooks, but any given Sunday,
That's true. I
lay
mean
down your
that
hat. Because I want to talk on Atlanta, man.
yeah.
I think they were a little overconfident,
Uh,
looking at their opponent. And then two, and I'm with Brooks. I think Atlanta struggles with an identity right now. They don't know whether they want to be a running team or a passing team. I think with a young quarterback,
Run.
like Brooks was saying, you got Algier and Bijan. You use the run. You got Pitts. Play action. Slow the game down for your rookie. He is not Patrick Mahomes. Hell, Patrick Mahomes wasn't Patrick Mahomes until what it took. What by year three.
About year 3.
Yeah, and Penix is what, a year and a half, if
If that,
that.
yeah, if
I
that.
mean, yeah, because he started what 5 games last year.
Started the last 4, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay, so 4 games. So yeah, he's still a pup. You
yep.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
slow the
I'm not
game
worried
down.
about it. Yeah, I'm not worried about
Yeah,
Penix. I
yeah.
mean,
Penix is a
he had a bad,
baller, dude.
he had a bad game, and he's a rookie. It's going to happen.
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah.
But
Everybody gonna get spanked. The NFL gonna spank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that's where you're gonna have the growing pains at that position. But if you have the
Yeah,
running game, you take advantage of that. You eat the clock, you shorten the game.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But it was just something about going on the road against a team like that. Like that's the win you want to have, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's for any team, that you want to be able to
yeah,
go do that.
man.
Especially going to Minnesota and winning at Minnesota. I would
Exactly.
think you could do the same in
Against that
Carolina.
defense, they
Yeah,
made Cincinnati look like a JV squad.
yeah. But look, man, Seattle, man, got some pieces though.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this: Seattle using the running game, kind of
yeah,
like Atlanta, have 2 running backs that you can throw out there, right? Walker the third and Charbonnet. You got a
yeah. When they
fullback
healthy,
and a fullback, man. We're utilizing a fullback, which I
yeah,
love. That's my favorite part of football, having a fullback. So we bringing that into the game. Horton is making plays in special teams and at receiver, which we talked about him before the season. Like, I still remember those games when he was at Colorado State, 2023, and he gave Travis Hunter the business now. You know what I'm saying? So he has that type of talent. Darnold's going to be what he is. He's going to be solid. He's going to be a placeholder until one day, the quarterback that needs to be there will be there. So,
until
but
you
right
develop,
now,
until you develop Drew Lock.
until he develops, right? Till Milton develops, but like they're using him just like they should. Just have a couple of package plays for him, but for the most part, he's learning. And in the meantime, I like where we are. As long as Seattle makes the playoffs, I'm good this year with that. But again, we mentioned the Rams, the 49ers. They look like, in my opinion, 2 of the better teams in the division in the West. So we still got a lot of work to do. Hopefully, 3 teams can get in there. But hey, man, the
Spen-
how about how? Oh, you want to throw something in there before we talk about another
uh,
team? Because I want to bring up
Spencer
a
Rat-
team.
Spencer Rattler in his career 0-10.
Yeah, that
0-10.
and
He hasn't won a game.
yeah.
yeah. That's sad, man.
Oh, bring out the brown bags in New Orleans. I mean
Yeah.
that's what it is. Bring those back. People who remember that
I
that
was, I was
time.
listening to somebody talking about if any quarterback had a worse start. I think Chris Winkie went 0-15 to start his
Oh yeah,
career.
Chris
So,
Winkie.
Yeah,
Wow, Mr. Florida State. Oh my gosh.
but
yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
0-10 to start his career, man.
Yeah.
That's not good.
and one
And
weekend,
that,
28-year-old rookie, 28-year-old
yeah,
college quarterback or
28
something.
year.
Yeah,
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 yeah, he was
yeah,
older. Yeah, he was older.
yeah.
Yeah.
Him
yeah.
and Jamarcus Russell.
Oh man, let's not
God.
let's
Yeah,
let's not bring up
yeah,
those
yeah.
type. But hey, man, um, what do y'all think about the Chiefs? Do you think this is the year that they kind of fall off? Um,
Oh yeah. That
what do y'all think? Do you think they fall? I mean, when I say fall off, I mean like they may not make the postseason.
this team broke them. They are broken. Everybody talk. Oh well, when Rashid Rice come back, and this that and that. Nah, they struggle with the Giants.
Yeah,
They're lucky the Giants started Russell Wilson. They are lucky. I think if Dart played that game, he don't know no better. He he's not being calculated in his
They
in
they
his.
they named Dart the starter.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I
he's
know
starting
he's
this week.
started now.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they realize Russell Wilson is being a politician back there playing quarterback versus playing quarterback. You don't throw the ball into the tunnel when you're trying to, stay in the game. Like, come on, guy. You know, oh well, I just had to throw it away. No, you got neighbors. You know, even though I was going up against neighbors in fantasy, but you know, so I loved it. But you throw the ball up to him and let him make a play. I mean, the weakness on KC is that their cornerbacks, other than McDuffie, everybody else is food.
Yeah.
You know, and you got a stud on the outside, and you just won't give him the ball. You know, and you know he keep on dumping it off the Scatterbull and shit. I mean, excuse me, shucks, man, Scatterbull. His running style ain't gonna have him last long because he's just a battering ram. He's running into everybody. I think he ran into the ball boy just because, you know. But but yeah, man,
Yeah.
I think you know the Chiefs is they're done. I'll say the West is the Chargers division to lose. I think the Chargers, you know, when they face KC again in Arrowhead, will it be in Arrowhead or LA? Who had the home game in Brazil?
I want to say the Chargers were the home team. We can
Okay,
verify that, but
yeah, that
you
would
know,
be an
one of
NFL thing.
yeah, that game was in Brazil, and I'm just
Yeah,
trying to go by what they were wearing.
yeah, with the
I believe
powder
Chiefs were the
blues.
road team. Yeah, I think the
Oh,
Chiefs were the road team, but we can double check it.
okay,
But
but yeah,
I
man,
mean, nonetheless, if the Chargers can sweep them, that's going to put the you know the stamp there, and then they
yeah,
say, hey, now it's time to shift a little bit. I think Denver has a good shot of being that second seeded team in the West. I think they
yeah,
do.
yeah. I mean, they won that right now. They what 1-2-1?
One, 1 and 2.
One
Oh,
and
one
two.
and two.
Yeah,
So
they had a
both
tough
them
loss
and the
against
Raiders
Vegas.
are all they. So they're all 1-2s.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
mean, you know, Gino might, you know, find a genie in a bottle and wake up and, you know,
I mean, the AFC is
Oh,
just not as strong as the NFC. That's the only thing I
nah.
got. I mean, there's 6 teams above 500 in the AFC right now, and you're
Yeah.
looking at Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Jacksonville being 3 of them. Like, I don't have faith in any of those 3 teams right now. So, I mean, you tell me they're gonna miss the playoffs. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think their skill position players are not good. They get Rice back, that'll be a little boost. But I mean, that's still a problem. But I just look at the AFC and you know, I think there's some teams like I think Denver, like you said, I think Denver's probably better than their record is. But you know, there's just not. You know, when you start playing a game of Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs, then you're going to be like, oh, well, who is? New
yeah.
England,
Tough.
Miami, Houston. Because even, I mean, Baltimore, you expect them, they're 1 and 2. I mean, they'll obviously get it turned around.
Yeah. They figured
They've
out.
had a tough, yeah, they've had a tough schedule to start. Um, but
They
again,
can't
I'm just
stop
not
the
gonna say they're
run.
gonna miss the playoff. I'm not gonna say they missed the playoffs when I have to like, what are you gonna put in? And I mean, 'cause that's a then you're talking about okay, I don't know who I'd put in over them right now.
Yeah. I mean, missing the playoffs is limping to the wild card game and losing. That would be
Sure.
missing the playoffs.
For them, yeah.
They'll be there an honorable mention, but they go home in the first round, which never happened to Pat because he's either in the AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl.
Right. Can you
You
look at
know.
that four division winners? Okay, that's 4 slots. Then
Mhm.
there's three wild card slots after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
So,
there's true.
you know,
So right now in the Bills, this is the Bills division to lose.
right, the East.
I
That's
mean, they can have it
oh,
wrapped up.
you talking about the whole AFC for their
Yeah, I'm
division.
talking about the
Yeah.
whole AFC. They can have
Yeah.
home field wrapped up by week 10 if they the way they're they slot it in the way like Brooks was saying, the AFC is taking, steps in the wrong in the opposite direction,
Yeah.
because it's like a bloodbath in the north. I mean, and then you got the South is nothing to write home about. I
Right.
mean, you
That's a
got
one
Danny
team.
Dimes. Yeah, you got Danny Dimes looking like freaking Johnny Unitas right now.
Yeah.
But when that glass slipper gonna break, it's not if, it's when it happens.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like I said, the AFC is it's looking shaky. As
yeah,
Chargers look good, Buffalo looks good.
yeah.
like I said, I'm not a I'm gonna wait and see with this Indianapolis team.
Yeah.
So
But outside of that, you expect the Ravens to turn it around, and those are the three. I mean, after
Yeah.
that, it's
so
just there.
four division winners. Let's throw
Mhm.
another team in from the north. So that's 5 slots.
Yeah. So
So
Pittsburgh.
we go Pittsburgh and then at least 2 slots, and you
All
know
right.
there you
So
go.
you got
Mm.
the Chiefs
Yeah, I
and
mean,
You have to say them.
I think you're gonna get two from the West.
So
yeah, the Chiefs
Denver, yeah.
and Denver. Yeah. Yeah. Because
So
And then there's that, and
Miami,
there's
they're
that third spot. Will the AFC South get a second team in?
I don't
You
think
know,
so.
no,
I
not
don't
the way
think
See,
the
Houston,
East.
not the
Jacksonville,
way
I
Houston
don't
started
think.
off.
yeah,
I don't think the AFC
Jacksonville
East
falls
is going to
apart.
get a second team in with New
No.
England, Jets, and Miami. That's just
No,
a
yeah.
so. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Chiefs are still
Looks like
right
by
there to make
default.
the playoffs. Yeah, that's right. Like I
Yeah, that's
said,
why. Yeah,
by
I
default, they're
believe
probably
it.
going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So there we go. All right. Well, um, we we got to just throw the name in there. Dallas Cowboys. Man, the
Mhm.
defense is awful. It's
Yeah.
awful, man. I mean, no other way to put it. I mean, they made the Bears look like I can't even say the '85 Bears. Uh, but they made them look like okay. They made them look like the Rams, the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
Dallas defense, man, the secondary. I mean, man, they getting toasted, man.
Yeah.
So I know that's your rival team there, the Cowboys.
Uh-huh.
Are they going to right the ship enough to get in this thing, or you think they're toast?
Um, no, the NFC is tough, man. I mean, you know, you got, the Eagles, you got the Rams, I mean, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota. I mean, hell, that's three teams is coming out of the NFC North, you know.
yeah, possibly.
So you're gonna have Atlanta and Tampa Bay fighting for the South, and then I mean the West, Seattle and the Rams will be fighting for that, and because I really don't believe in Kyler. Kyler is gonna the new Call of Duty gonna come out and then they'll fall apart. So I mean everything's gonna run through Philly. I believe, and I'm not just saying that as a homer. I mean, I'm just looking at the landscape. Because once we get to November and December football, that's when it changed. When that cold weather, them southern teams got to come north. Those western teams got to come east. The eastern teams got to go west. And you got climate change. You're not playing in 70 or 80-degree weather. In Tampa case, 110-degree weather, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it gets to, that's when the war of attrition is going to take over, man. So I don't see Dallas coming back this year. Heck, I think they need to go ahead and just blow it up. I mean, losing Michael Parsons the way they lost him, I think that took a lot of emotion out of the locker room. The guys they're out there playing, but they playing and they talking, and they see Jerry sitting in that box, sitting there looking down on them, and for every missed pass, he throwing his head back, and the son's sitting there, and they clutching their Pepsi and pissed off, and it's like we're on the field. You took one of our best players and you just basically gave him away to prove a point right before the season started. Now we about to face him. You know,
Mhm.
you didn't even have respect to trade him in the AFC. You gave him to an NFC team. How smart is that? Then what you got for him? You didn't even get nothing great. Yeah, you got draft picks, but those lottery tickets, we all buy scratch offs and disappointed. You
Yeah.
know?
Hey man, I tried to win the last one, man. I ain't get nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you get a half a number, and you like, damn, I should have picked, I should have picked better.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't. I mean, that when they paid Dak 60 million, man, that was the mistake. They should have went on ahead, found them another journeyman quarterback, drafted young, You know, it was a kid that grew up watching that team. Daddy played there. That would have been your ideal situation. You still got CD. You
You,
know,
they
You
should have.
can't
like
just
you could have got a King's
when
ransom for Dak. I mean,
yeah,
the Raiders wanted him.
Yeah.
when you're
They could have,
yeah, when well, majority of your salary is within a few players. I mean, it's just hard to build depth and talent
yeah,
around it. You know, you think about the Bengals and all their money they got locked up in Burrow and
4 players.
Chase, and they can't even protect Burrow. You know, it's stupid. It's a dumb investment. You know, you can't invest all that money and hamstring yourself and not protect those investments. For
Yep.
example, with Burrow. And it's the same with the Cowboys. You know, you get rid of your best defensive player, and your defense is playing like this now. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We
Uh,
got to stop the run, but you're still giving up
that's
5 yards
yeah,
a clip.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough for that's tough for the locker room to see. You know, your
Yeah,
best defensive player, get traded away like that, and
yeah,
then you become the worst defense in the league. You know,
yeah.
um,
Yeah,
Yeah, and
man.
those guys, man, they sitting around and they're like, "What are we playing for? We play our hearts out. This guy ain't gonna pay us. We're gonna have to fight tooth and nail for our money." You know, and it's no incentive. It's no incentive to show up.
it's like it's kind of in that Kirk Cousins vein. You know,
Yeah,
Dak Prescott isn't a top tier quarterback, but he's in the middle and he can win you games.
yeah,
And the question just comes down to, are you going to put when it's that time? Are you going to pay him like that or not?
yeah.
For people like Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott, they got that paycheck. But
Hmm.
that's a tough decision for a team when you have that kind of middle of the road quarterback. Are you going to pay him, or are you going to move on? Because you know what you got, so
Yep.
you can't. It's hard to let him go when you know what you got. You got somebody proven.
Yeah,
Not the top tier, but he can win games. He can make plays. So, um,
yeah. He's equivalent to an '87 Chevy with the paint chipping. You know, it's gonna start
yeah,
up. It's gonna get you to work, but it look like
yeah,
crap. It's serviceable. Look, it's going to you look. You can put it on the highway, but you won't take it on a long trip. That's what you get a rental car for.
Oh
You know, it's
man.
reliable, man. You
Yeah.
know, and you get
and, and,
comfortable.
and their offense is solid. They're gonna score points. They
Yeah,
got talent on offense, but I mean,
yeah. They playing arena
uh,
football. They're gonna give up. They're gonna
yeah,
score 40, and they're gonna
yeah,
give up
yeah. You just going they're
49.
gonna have to you're gonna have to outscore people.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, dependable. I like the way you did that because you guys are dependable, and I'm glad you all were able to jump on and cover these segments for me today. And we'll look forward to the big football weekend this weekend. I mean, we got to watch the Alabama and Georgia game. We have some 3-0s playing each other in the NFL this weekend, so there's some games that we got to really pay attention to, and we'll come back next week and review those games. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all mind, if y'all don't mind, let's do that.
yeah.
And
Let's do
also,
it.
and also don't forget that we had the college football show this Sunday as well. So be ready to tune in for that.
All right.
All right. So for Philly Red
Let's
Zone
do it.
and for Brooks to Showcase,